What's the worst call you've ever received from your child's daycare? Your son bit 3 kids today. I'm thinking, okay, typical toddler stuff. My 3-year-old Jake's been going through a phase where he tests boundaries. Last week, he licked the grocery cart at Target. We need you to pick him up immediately. The tone in Ms. Patricia's voice was different, though. Usually, she's pretty chill about these things. She's seen it all in her 20 years running Little Sprouts daycare. When I got there, I noticed other parents giving me looks in the parking lot. Great. Word travels fast in our small town. Ms. Patricia met me at the front door instead of making me sign in like usual. She looked genuinely shaken up, which is saying something because this woman once calmly handled a kid who somehow got his head stuck in a toilet seat. She led me past the main playroom where I could see other kids playing normally, but I noticed a few had colorful band-aids on their arms. My stomach started to drop. Jake was sitting alone in the quiet corner of the reading nook, perfectly calm, methodically eating goldfish crackers, one by one. He looked up and waved at me with his orange-dusted fingers like it was any other Tuesday. So he bit some kids during playtime? I asked, hoping it was just typical playground drama. Ms. Patricia closed her eyes for a second. No, she said slowly. He bit them during nap time, while they were sleeping. I blinked at her. I'm sorry, what? She pulled out her tablet and showed me the incident report she'd been typing. 3 separate entries, all time-stamped within a 15-minute window during afternoon quiet time. Apparently, Jake had been pretending to sleep on his mat for about 10 minutes. We thought he'd finally settled down because he's usually our most restless napper. I nodded. Getting Jake to nap was like trying to convince a caffeinated squirrel to meditate. Then he started army crawling across the room. Ms. Jenny thought maybe he needed the bathroom, so she was about to get up and redirect him. But instead of heading to the door, Ms. Patricia paused and looked at Jake, who was now organizing his crackers by size. He crawled over to where Emma was sleeping, lifted up her arm very carefully and just bit her. Not hard enough to break skin, but enough to leave clear teeth marks. Oh God. Emma woke up crying, obviously. Ms. Jenny rushed over to comfort her, and I went to talk to Jake. He was already back on his mat, eyes closed, pretending to sleep again. This was getting weird. Did you think that was it? We should have, but then maybe 5 minutes later, he did it again. Same exact process. Crawled over to sleeping Tommy, bit his ankle, crawled back. I looked at my son, who had now started building a small tower with his goldfish. He seemed completely unbothered by our conversation. The really disturbing part, Ms. Patricia whispered, leaning closer, is how quiet and methodical he was about it, like he had a systematic plan. By the 3rd kid, poor little Sophia, Ms. Jenny was watching him like a hawk. There was a 3rd. He waited until he thought we weren't looking, then made his move towards Sophia's mat. Ms. Jenny intercepted him just as he was positioning himself next to her arm. I felt like I was hearing about some tiny serial killer. Jake, buddy, can you come here? He hopped up cheerfully, still clutching a few crackers. No signs of guilt or awareness that he'd done anything wrong. Why did you bite the sleeping kids, sweetie? He looked at me like I'd asked him why water was wet. I was checking if they were real people or just dreams, Mommy. Ms. Patricia and I exchanged glances. That was actually kind of logical for a 3-year-old brain. You thought you were dreaming? Uh-huh. Sometimes at home I dream about daycare, and dream kids don't feel real when you touch them. So I used my teeth to check if they were dream kids or real kids. The director slowly sat down in one of the tiny chairs. Jake, honey, you were awake. This wasn't a dream. He shrugged. I know that now. Turns out my kid had been conducting scientific experiments on his classmates' reality while they slept. The other parents were less understanding of his research methods. We switched daycares the following Monday.